Since childhood, you've been sold a lie. You were told that if you follow the rules, play nice, and accommodate everyone else, you'll be safe. But look around. The people constantly bending over backward aren't rewarded. They're exhausted, and worse, they're often completely ignored. It comes down to basic biology. Humans are incredibly adept at sensing motives. When you walk into a room over-eager to please, people pick up on that need for approval. They subconsciously categorize you as a safe, harmless subordinate. But there is a different way to carry yourself. A presence so heavy and secure that it doesn't ask for attention, yet commands the room anyway. It's a confidence so rare that it actually makes people uncomfortable. The author Robert Greene spent decades mapping out exactly how this psychology works. By studying the courts of Renaissance Italy, Greene observed that leaders who desperately sought affection were easily manipulated. Love is a fickle choice. But deep respect, built on a foundation of unpredictability, is permanent. When you stop signaling for approval, people around you are forced to reevaluate where you stand. Abandoning the instinct to be liked creates the necessary distance for respect to take root. You don't have to become a monster to be respected. Just replace niceness with civility. Niceness is an automatic reaction to conflict. Civility is a standard of behavior you uphold because you are disciplined. A powerful person still opens doors and speaks politely, but if someone crosses them, they don't explode into anger. They retreat into cold, neutral distance. Because you refuse to show emotional submission, you become entirely unpredictable to everyone else. That unpredictability thrives in what Greene calls the vacuum of silence. Most people are terrified of quiet moments. Put two insecure people in a room, and they will trip over themselves to fill every awkward gap, usually revealing way too much. You can flip that dynamic instantly. When someone asks you a question, don't answer right away. Hold eye contact and wait 3 full seconds. In that window, their mind races, wondering if they crossed a boundary. And when you finally do speak, do it slowly. Fast talking signals nervousness. It shows you're worried about being interrupted. A slow, deliberate pace proves you fully expect the world to stop and listen to your words. By controlling the pace of the conversation and weaponizing pauses, you manipulate the physical tension in the room. You prove who holds the authority without ever having to raise your voice. Your mind listens to your body. You can't project authority if you're physically shrinking to take up less space. Keep your chest wide and open. Leaving your posture physically open sends a signal that you feel safe and have nothing to protect. Next, secure your gaze. People who constantly dart their eyes around the room mimic the nervous behavior of prey animals. Apex predators do the exact opposite. Their eyes move slowly, locking on to a single target with absolute focus. This physical discipline sets the stage for how you manage your most valuable asset, your attention. In our highly connected world, attention operates by the exact same economic laws of supply and demand as money. Look at this chart mapping social dynamics. When you reply to every text instantly and agree to every single invitation, you flood the market. As your availability increases, your perceived value drops sharply. This drives your social value down. To reverse this, you must actively withdraw your supply. Leave parties while they're fun. Hang up the phone first. And when you leave, don't offer an apologetic, detailed excuse. A simple, "I have things to do," is sufficient. By ending interactions before they reach their natural conclusion, you leave the other person with unanswered questions. They begin spending their mental energy trying to understand your motives, effectively shifting the burden of validation onto them. But here is the hard truth. Staring slowly and leaving conversations early are useless if they aren't anchored to real capability. You cannot trick your own brain. If you haven't put in the hours to build actual skills or solve difficult problems, adopting a serious, silent persona won't make you look powerful. It will just look awkward and empty. Genuine confidence is the natural byproduct of intense competence. It is the steady calm of a surgeon navigating a complication, born from thousands of hours of repetition and a track record of keeping difficult promises to yourself. Once you have that skill, you must protect it from the golden calf. the trap of tying your self-image to external praise. Because if a compliment can make your day, an insult can just as easily destroy it. You have to sever those emotional strings. When your self-worth is built strictly on your own proven abilities, it doesn't matter if the crowd calls you a genius or a fool. Your internal state remains untouched. When elite competence is backed by emotional immunity, you no longer rely on external feedback to function. You operate on an internal circuit that remains steady regardless of outside pressure. There is a price to taking back your authority, and this is where most people fold. You must become comfortable with people actively disliking you the moment you start enforcing boundaries. When critics call you arrogant or selfish, your first instinct will be to argue back. Don't do it. Defending your choices hands them your power because it proves you believe they have the right to sit in judgment of you. The countermove against provocation is to offer nothing. Simply agree with the insult, say okay, and walk away. Draining an attacker of their leverage is the single most uncomfortable thing you can do to a provocateur. Be warned, once you adopt this mindset, your social life will change. The easygoing, pushover dynamic you used to share with the group will fade. In its place, you will find a layer of distance and a very real, slightly fearful respect. You can start shifting this ballast tomorrow morning. Walk a little slower, force a 3-second pause before you speak, and stop handing out nervous, unearned smiles just to make everyone else comfortable. It will feel cold at first, but you have to abandon the desire to be the hero in everyone else's story if you intend to be the one setting the terms of your own life.